Let's check on YouTube. Did it connect? Yep, it connected automatically. Pin. And pin. Perfect. All right. And these are connected. Check on the Twitch side. Twitch side. Perfect. And yay. Let's go. Oh boy. Ah, okay. Okay. Oh, yay. Let me pull up the chat so I can see it. Let me pin it. Pin the chat time. Okay, let me pin the chat. There we go. That's better. Great. Now I can see the chat going. Oh my gosh, you guys. This morning has been update after update after update after update after update. It's been a lot of updates. And it's crazy. I've been trying to like go and like, you know, start for some time. I was like, okay, I think this is the last update, and then I found another update that the computers needs, and then my phone decided the system update, and I'm like, how many did you guys all get in a room and decide today was the day to update everything? Like, I don't know, but I feel that's what happened. That all the phone companies all the companies decided, you know what, we're gonna system update right now, which is fine. I'm just, you know, it is what it is, but I was like, okay, this is weird. So yeah, so that's my morning. Today we went for a knitted fit today. As you could see, today's a knitted sweater fit. I kind of went with like a nice, the red variant of my mask. I went for the red variant, as you could see, the red variant, which is cute. I kind of wanted to go for more of like a settler like goth fit, like more pastel today. So like a very subtle one. So like the only thing that it indicates it is like the fishnets, obviously, and the choker collar, and you know, and other stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to go for like something more subtle today, you know, compared to what I usually wear. So I kind of went for more of a subtle fit today, which, like I said, like I always say, these outfits, I get them off of Booth. So if you want to get this outfit, definitely go onto Booth. These creators are very cool, very awesome, and I love them. I love these outfits. They're like super good. So yeah, I'm so excited about it. But yeah, today we are gonna be playing Stardew. This week's, I tell you, this week's been like crazy. I've just like this is what has happened in the past 2 days. Like, it's been like 2 days, and you guys, and a lot has happened. Okay, so one, I talked with my boss at the internship. The boss at my internship loves the new direction we're going with the his social media campaign. So I'm very happy about that. Being, you know, the social media person, the social media intern, you know, you want your boss to like what you're doing and to understand exactly what you're putting out in the world. So yay. We are going, because we made the decision that we're making more of a template, because obviously, since we're starting from ground zero, and he wants to be very, very determined and careful and everything like that. He doesn't want to be put in a position where like the next intern can't pick up and go. So what he's learning that, especially since my coworkers, my other co-interns, they quit. They quit recently. No bad things, nothing bad. They finished their master's programs. So because they finished their master's programs, they're no longer working with him, which is okay. You know, that happens. But for, you know, me, that means that, you know, I gotta work hard. So I've been going and working hard on the social media campaign. We're working on like what exactly does should their videos look like for this nonprofit, because, you know, it's going to be kind of important to be like, okay, this is the to know exactly what the template of the video is going to be, no matter what the topic is. So yeah, so I'm coming up with that currently for them, and it's going well. We've worked on a script. This week was working on a script and working on what would be like pictures that would be associated with this script. So we went with that, and he liked the pictures. He liked that I was able to find a bunch of stock pictures, and not like stuff that's freely on the internet. And then I'm happy that he approved the script, because the problem with people that are from not profit, and this is not a problem, it's a problem for me, is that when you have to go and come up with the idea of what their thing is going to be about, basically, why is the Stardew audio like so low? Let me fix that. The Stardew audio is like non-existent. It's like in the basement with you guys, my basement dwellers. There. Good. But yeah, so literally we're working on that. We were working on the script, and it's hard when you go and you come up with social media direction for a nonprofit, because these people talk in flowery language, if you know what I mean, like using big words, and they use these elongated sentences, and they talk like they'll talk about the thing that they're talking, but they'll go into a spiel that is like super, super long. And I understand that. I do the same exact thing. But in a social media for social media, for these shorts and stuff like that, you only got a minute and a half at most to like keep these people's attention, like to keep you guys' attention. So I literally I had to explain to him, and he was like, why did you take out so many things? Like, this is a lot of information. I'm like, it's because it's too much information. I only have a minute and a half, and unless we're going at 2 times speed saying everything that you want to say, we gotta cut out some stuff. So I had to cut out a good portion of it, but it still got to the point of what his message was. We were going and talking about like definitions and social campaigns and stuff like that, because it's an environmental nonprofit, so we deal with the environment. But I've been working on that, been working on the direction of that. We're focusing more towards a YouTube audience rather than a TikTok one, which you know, is understandable. A lot of people that are a little older, they don't really don't want to deal with the TikTok audience because they don't know how to deal with them. So I totally understand why it's happening, but it's taking a minute for everything to work out and get where it needs to go, and eventually I will come up with a template. I'll probably by the end of the semester start posting, and then there'll be probably a handoff between me and the next intern, and then it would be the end of my program. And I'm also trying to like get a hold of the coordinator for my internship, because I have an internship coordinator that is from my college that is supposed to make sure that, you know, I'm able to file paperwork and everything like that. And I have emailed this dude, and this dude has not answered back. So I'm ready to text this dude and be like, hey, can we talk? Because I need to get my stuff done. So that way this internship counts for my college. You know, I'm not doing, you know, I'm not working for free for nothing, you know. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to get it all done, and then hopefully everything gets done, everything works out, and then I get to do all the stuff I want to do. But yeah, so that's been what's been going on this week, and I'm so happy it's starting to work out. I'm just like, oh, it's finally working out. Everything's getting where it needs to go, and eventually everything will be chill. Also, for you guys, I added a lurk command. So you guys can put command lurk, and then if you just want to let me know that, hey, I'm here, but I don't want to be talked to, like, I don't want you to talk to me directly, that is totally fine. You guys, that is what the command is for. You guys now have a lurk command. So yeah, you guys can put command lurk and let me know that you're here, but you don't want to talk to me directly. You don't want to be the center of attention, which is totally fine. Sometimes I don't want to talk in chats. So I totally understand it, and that's why the command's there. I did for both the Twitch and the YouTube audience, so you guys can go and let me know that you are here if you want to. That's totally fine. But yeah, that's been so I got that done. So in terms of my younger brother that has gone to basically the equivalent of Hogwarts boarding school, that's going interestingly. So far, let's just say my little brother doesn't understand the concept of, even though they put hands on you, even though they may like be bullying you and stuff like that, maybe don't deck them in the face. And we're dealing with that. We're dealing with the fact that this kid keeps punching out 5-year-olds. He keeps punching out 5-year-olds at school, and it's not that he like is actually actively trying to hurt them. Like, the problem is he has the problem of that if you bother him enough, or if you like irritate him, he's gonna punch you. He is a fighty kid. He's a fighty kid, and I used to be a fighty kid when I was little, so yeah, I totally understand where it's coming from. But oh my gosh, it is bad. When you come home every single week and you're just like, did you go get in a fight today? What did you do today? Whose parents do we need to apologize to? It's kind of becomes a little bit of a joke at this point. It's a running gag at this point in my family. And, you know, yesterday he did good. Actually, yesterday he did good. He didn't punch a kid. He shoved one, but he didn't punch a kid, so he did good. He's doing good. He's doing better. The teachers have been like doing good to like, come up with like solutions like that can help with his ADHD. Cause you know, he's not very good at attention, and it's really, really hard for him to like stay on course and also not get distracted by kids trying to like bother him. So it's kind of hard for him right now, but eventually it's gonna get better, and he's gonna feel better, and he's gonna do better. I'm just, you know, we're waiting for that day. We're waiting for that day, and we're obviously working with the teacher to figure out, okay, what can we do in order to like prevent him from like going crazy. But it's just a lot. But yeah, we've been working on that, getting it all done, trying to get him better. My sister, she just came back from the oral surgeon. Um, they're right now scheduling her surgery for she's getting like extra braces. I think it is. I think it's like extra braces. They're trying to move a tooth. So she's getting extra braces because she has like what's happening in her mouth right now is she has a tooth that's stuck, and it's in the wrong place, and there's another tooth that's above it that needs to come down. And the problem is they need to get one tooth to either move over or come out, and then bring that one that is lodged up there down. So she's going through a lot of oral surgery, a lot of braces, and all that jazz. And eventually it will get her teeth. She's actually taking the braces pretty well. Like she was like, oh no, I'm gonna be a nerd. And then now she's like, okay, I get to be the popular girl with braces. Because she's realized how much attention she's getting because of the braces. So she's very happy about that. And I'm excited. I'm happy that she's having her popular thing. But we're trying to keep her reined in because right now, like, she's the one right now she'll follow the crowd. So she'll go and like, if there's something that is like, oh my gosh, that is the new thing. It's very popular and everyone's talking about it. She'll do it. She won't think about it twice. She won't think about, maybe we shouldn't be following everything that everybody says to do. Maybe we shouldn't. That's probably not a good idea. And yeah, so she's learning that. We're trying to teach her that lesson. And unfortunately, it's taking a minute for her to learn it. Am I even live on YouTube? I don't know. I'm checking on YouTube to see what's going on. I don't think it's pushed out my video at all, which is understandable. That sometimes happens whenever I go and I go and set up a video before a live stream before I go live. Because last night it was crazy for me. You have one of those nights where people where you get frustrated and you do everything and then you're so frustrated that you're just like, I can't, I need to go to bed, and then you don't set up anything ahead of time. Yeah, that's what happened. But yeah. So, yeah. Hey, Silencer, welcome! Have you seen yesterday's State of Play? No, I have not. But I did see that new anime version of Grand Theft Auto, and I've been like, ooh, that looks really good to play. I was like, oh, I want to play the anime Grand Theft Auto. I'll do that. Like, who cares about GTA 6 and whenever that's gonna come out? But, like, if we could do an anime Grand Theft Auto? Yes. Like, I don't know if it's from the same creators of Genshin Impact, but the style reminds me of it. So I think they might be related. But this one is not on rails. It's open world. From what I heard, it's open world. You literally get guns in the game. There's guns and like, literal RPGs. You have like rocket launchers. You can drive the cars in the game, so you're able to drive around the city as well. You can like hit people with golf clubs, which is awesome. It's like it has everything of Grand Theft Auto, but put it an anime skin against it, and I am all for it. I saw State of Play and they showed Wolverine game there. It looks tasty. Dismemberment, blood, sexy, mystic, yellow gimp suit. from the comics and very important logo. Oh my gosh, yes, that kind of sounds like it would be good. Like, especially, you know, the old, there was an old Wolverine game that didn't do bad. It just, you know, it has the graphics of its time. That did amazingly as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. A Wolverine game today would be good. Though that game is gonna get compared to the old game because the old game was really good. Even though no one talks about it, it was a game that actually was decent when it came out. It was like a movie tie-in game, if I remember correctly, from what I heard. And I saw video footage of it. It had a really cool mechanic, if I remember, where basically Wolverine would get damaged, but you would go and you would see his body like regenerate, and it was kind of cool. The most funny part is Logan is the Canadian short king, but he is mocapped by an Aussie 6'1" actor that they had to shrink him for the game. Oh, that's awesome. That's actually kind of funny. It's funny. But yeah, oh, that sounds awesome. That's funny. I love that Logan's gonna be in his canonical height. I want it to be that, because he's a funny short king. It's the funniest short king moment, and I want it. It's just like, let it happen, you know, let him be a short king. It'd be awesome. But yeah, I'm so excited about that. I'm excited about the animation Grand Theft Auto. I was so entertained by it. I was so captivated by the trailer of the anime Grand Theft Auto. I was like, I want to kind of play it on stream. I would definitely like ask you guys like before I do it, be like, hey, just as a trial run, can I do the anime Grand Theft Auto? Which will be funny. That's why he is called Wolverine. He's 5'3" steroid build and also fights 7-foot tall dudes. Yes, true. But yeah. He's a tornado with like claws. It's awesome. Let me grab my coffee. I went basic today. I went cafe con leche. I was like, yes, let's go cafe con leche. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, and then, you know, I want to play that game so badly. I was like, it looks super good. And I love Genshin Impact. Like, even though I would never play it, I don't think I would play it on this stream because it's too easy for me. But if I were to do the anime, like, Genshin Impact. The only thing I'm not sure about is, like, I think that you can't, I think it's the same thing with Genshin Impact where you can't choose your character. You just kind of have to like go with the standard character, and the standard character is a guy. There's a guy and a girl. The girl's in like a bunny suit, and the guy is like just like a pretty boy build. So I'm not gonna lie, Hugh Jackman's cool, but damn, he's 6'3". Yeah, he is. Though, do you remember that moment in Deadpool where they did like the Wolverine moment where they were like, okay, let's show canonical Wolverine and how he would look like, and he's like tiny, and Wolverine he gets off the stool, and he's on the stool, and like Deadpool looks at him and is like, oh, perfect, I found Wolverine. He gets off the stool, is like, oh, I got canonical Wolverine that's short. And I'm like, I love that moment. It was funny. For me, the top cast for Wolverine is Daniel Radcliffe. I'm not even joking. Look for Daniel Radcliffe buff. I believe it. And I wholly believe that Daniel Radcliffe would do it. If you gave him a script that's weird enough, he will do it. Because that man is just trying to basically just do the bucket list of the weirdest movies that he could be found in. Like, dude is going, like, if you've seen his movies since Harry Potter, he makes his audience questions their life decisions. Like, literally. This guy, just to describe the roles he's played in a movie, he's played a farting corpse, he's played a stripper, priest, he's played, a magician at one point, a magician CEO, that happened, he also played, a overworked and underpaid, guy that makes miracles happen and functions basically like God. It's like he's going down the bucket list. Guns Akimbo was fantastic. Sad it flopped. Yeah, it's true. Unfortunately, you know. And Miracle Workers was a really good show, I have to say. And I still can't get it out of my mind. The moment where he's talking sadly as the priest, and then he's like, you know what? Fuck this. Strips his clothes and is in like a garter and panties and is like sings "We're coming round the mountain when she comes," you know. And then like there's also, he did theater for a bit. When he did theater, he did a show. Yes, he did the Weird Al Yankovic biopic, which I have to say, perfect for him. I'm so happy for him. He also did a theater performance where he played naked. He performed the entire theater performance, like the whole run on Broadway, naked. Not kidding. Nothing covering. Nothing covering. Just straight up whole nude. Like, on Broadway. He was just like... He was performing like that 8 shows a week. Like, I have to say, for anyone that was in that audience, I'm like, I don't know how you were able to keep a straight face where you're just like, this was the guy from Harry Potter, and I'm now seeing more than I wanted to see from this guy. You know? Like... I remember it's like Shia LaBeouf type of insanity. Yes! But society accepts it! That's the difference. Shia LaBeouf, we kind of like threw him in the garbage. And like with him, like we're just like letting it happen. And I love that for him. I love that society is letting him do it. Like I love when an actor does passion projects. Like, they do only the projects that they want to do. I love it because you could see the joy on these people's faces. And he's got Harry Potter money, so he doesn't even need the money to do these films. He's just doing it for the fun of it. Remember when he bought all the tickets to the theater to watch his movies? Yes, I remember. I also remember the Cannibal Shia LaBeouf song that was happening. He had a war with 4chan. Yeah. Sorry, I had to drink my coffee. But I am living for Daniel Radcliffe, like, getting everything he wanted. And then I'm also living for the other actors, like Emma Watson's, like, in Congress, which is, like, not Congress for the American side, but Congress for, like, the Parliament for, like, the UK. And I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm very happy for her. No joke, the peanut butter Falcon was good. I do agree. Peanut butter Falcon was really good. I do agree with that. That one was like a solid film. It was very fun. And it was really well acted, and it was a really good story. My dad even loved it. Like, my dad is usually only into trash movies. Like, not to say that his taste is trash. He prefers movies that are trash. Like, if they're a B movie or a C movie, he'll take them. So, I'm not to say that his taste is trash. That's what he prefers. But, yeah. and one of kind of how much you know what and one it's kind of how much you know movies with Down syndrome. Yeah, it's true. It's rare that when you see a movie about someone with Down syndrome, or if you see a movie at all with any Down syndrome casting or any disability casting. It's very rare in it's fairly rare in media when you get like a disability casting. Like the only time that you will see disability casting is actually in horror. Horror has been consistent with their disability casting. Because if you are wondering, oh man, like remember when people were mad about the fact that, oh man, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs did not cast dwarves, and they're like, there's not a lot of rules where there's a lot of like short people. They don't realize that a good chunk of horror actors are short people. People who have dwarfism. And people who have elongated man syndrome. Literally. It's because in horror, sometimes there are action scenes that you cannot hire kids to do. And so what will happen is that they will cast these people with dwarfism to play these kids. One that did it recently was Weapons. The movie Weapons did it recently, where they casted a giant team of short people to go and play these kids for like a one-shot scene. And I'm here for it. You know, I'm very here for it. And yes, and the 7-foot skinny guys, they do that. They do that. Shape of Water, you got it. Yes, Slenderman, Mama. They all have. They cast people with disability. You'll notice that horror consistently casts people with disabilities. Now it's sad in the fact that, you know, they're relegated to only one genre, or sometimes sci-fi will do it. Sometimes sci-fi, but very rarely is it sci-fi does it. But it's very sad that disability is only available for the horror genre. Like, it's very disconcerting, you know. And then if it's like, oh yeah, you do see disability in a movie, like it's usually to like do a like it's called like pity corn. I'm gonna call it pity corn, because of the fact that these movies will be billed as like, oh yes, oh we feel sorry for them and how everything goes, and then you're just like, yeah, sure, they're conditioned, but why are we being sad about them? They literally, like, they live normal lives. Like, yes, sure, their lives are slightly different, but we shouldn't feel bad for them. In fact, you know, we should probably have more films where, like, the disability is not the forefront. It could be a feature of it, but not the forefront of it. You know, I feel like we need more films where, like, it's just like we just have a normal rom-com, and it's a normal rom-com, and just stuff happens. You know, they happen to have like someone that has a different ability, and it's not like their whole identity. I remember on some podcast, Peter Dinklage said he hated Snow White, and Disney removed all of the dwarfs to a CG and won't offend anyone. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just that, like, it's hard to, like, it's not that it's not that, like, people are like, oh yes, let's go and, like, not include these people. But I feel that it really is important to consider how are these people getting portrayed in media. And a lot of people, I feel like, are talking without knowledge of what actually is happening in the industry. Now, I'm not just gonna say that, like, acting is amazing right now for people with other abilities or heights or stuff like that, because, you know, like I said, with the rom-coms and stuff like that, you're kind of relegated to a certain categories or genres that you're allowed to play. But I feel that, like, people are not realizing that you gotta look at these people like normal people. They are normal people. There's nothing, they're sure, yes, they have something small that's different about them, but think about it like this, right? Do we look at Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things and be like, she's deaf, right? Do we look at her like a deaf actor? No, we don't look at her like a deaf actor, even though she cannot hear on one out of one of her ears. We don't look at Selena Gomez and be like, oh yeah, she's a lupus actor. You know, we don't look at that. We're just like, yeah, sure, her body, you know, her weight fluctuates because of the medicines she has to take. You know, we need to look at it like that, where we're like, not that we're erasing it, but the fact that, you know, it doesn't need to be the whole identity of the person. Like, it could be a feature, but we don't need to be we don't have to talk about it, like, it over the course of the film. You know what I mean? But that's the thing, you know, that's, I feel a certain way about it because, you know, I see it all the time. I see it when people are like, oh, they didn't cast, like, an autistic actor for this film, but, like, the portrayal of the acting for autism is, like, pretty on point. I wouldn't say the Good Doctor is good. Good Doctor's not as good. I don't think it's as good. But, like, Sherlock Holmes, I could see it. Like, Sherlock, I could see it. Sherlock, I see it. It's pretty good. Like, I don't, you know, for me, I don't hold any problems with the fact that I don't see a lot of actors, like, that are autistic, that are not playing autistic coded characters, because what I find is that it's not that people can't do it. I feel that for that part, you know, as long as you are getting the right consultation, like the actor is getting consulted and consultation from the community is informing their performance a little bit, then I could stand behind it, having a normal person play someone with autism. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. Now, don't do the flappy hands, and for the Sia biopic, I was like, okay, that's like, I'm like, Maddie, you don't need to be doing that, all that stuff. You don't have to be that extra. But I have to say, it's pretty, you know, that's how I feel about it. Similar with Hobbit movies, it's perfect movie for dwarf actors, but they use them only for some shots, not in the main light. Like come on. There was a good joke about it in Tropic Thunder. I do agree with that. The Tropic Thunder, like, I'm just like, I'm a movie buff, so I'm not as much of a movie buff compared to my other friends. I still get from my friends, they're like, oh my gosh, you never watched this movie? And I'm like, yes, I didn't watch that movie because it either came out before I was born, or it came out, like, during the 7 years where I didn't do it. I didn't watch movies. I won't quote the joke because it's Twitch. I do agree. Don't quote things that will get you banned. Please don't. I don't want you to get banned. Because I like your company. I like having people to talk to. And it's fun to talk to people. You know? But, yeah. But, I love movies. You know? I've been looking into some other, shows. I have yet to watch The Knights of Guinevere. I haven't watched it yet. Though, I got some information behind the scenes about it. So I was like, oh, I like hearing about this, you know. But for me, I was like, oh, it's so cool. But yeah, I did see a bit of like Danny Mata's video a little bit, so I know a little bit of what Knights of Guinevere is. I just haven't watched it fully. But I will watch it. I have been getting further in the rewatch of Has Been Hotel. I've been rewatching Has Been Hotel, the new Amazon Prime version of it. Because, you know, they remade all of the episodes. And I wanted to see, okay, what are that? I got to the episode where I finished the last episode I finished before I shut it off for like the last watch session was I got to the episode where Blitz feels like he's all alone and Luna goes to a party where like Beelzebub is like throwing a party, and basically she calls Blitz comes to the party, he gets wasted out of his mind, and then Luna takes him back home. I really appreciated it because I was like, ooh. I really rewatching it, I was like, oh, it's so good rewatching it and seeing it, and I'm just happy it's, you know, I like a lot of the changes that they made to it. There are some subtle changes that they made that I think are pretty good. I'm not laughing. The only thing I will have to say is the show on YouTube makes me laugh. The show on Amazon, the big difference is it doesn't make me laugh, but it makes me feel more for the characters. That's something that I think is better. But I think they run in their own lanes. Recently I finally watched Daredevil show, and not gonna lie, it was good till the part he put on his goofy red mask with horns. From the part it became the usual superhero slap. Yeah, I do feel that. Daredevil, the problem, a lot of the superhero shows, they have like a good start, but then what happens is they'll go through a writer strike, or some changes will happen, or you'll get the comment, oh, I'm a Disney exec and I need you to change some things so that way we can make our stockholders happy, you know. You'll get that usual stuff. And usually I will attest that usually the writers of these shows, they don't want to add the stuff that the execs want to add. Usually the stuff you guys hate is usually stuff that is added by execs or added by brands. You are not gonna, that's usually why you don't like it. It's just, it ends up being like that. The writers tend to write what you guys really like. It's just, you know, sometimes that's just what happens. And unfortunately, it happens more often than not that the industry will just be like, okay, let's change everything about this. You know, but that happens, and we just, I hope that more people realize it's not the writer's fault. The writers usually, there's a first draft that they have where it's like, oh, it's all the amazing things that the fans want. And then after that, okay, so here's our notes from corporate. And then here's our notes from the brand. And here's our notes from the producer that doesn't want to do this stuff and wants to add in this little thing from there. Yeah, that's literally what happens. So, literally, it just becomes, like, they talk it down till it no longer is what it was initially. Probably it was more of an edgy show prior to everything that corporate did, Disney corporate did, and Netflix corporate did, because, you know, it's on both sides. It's on, all of them have that to a degree. Like, you guys could see it with the Netflix version of Avatar: The Last Airbender. They basically took away Sokka's character development because they were like, well, we don't want our character, a beloved character that everybody loves, to kind of be a jerk. And they're like forgetting the reason why he needed to be a jerk. That he became a parody of himself, as his no killing rule was there in the beginning. It was a reasonable, but over time it became so excessive that he saved his main enemy from assassins. I feel the no killing rule should be like how Spider-Man treats it. Because, like, Spider-Man in the comics, if you don't know, Spider-Man in the comics has a no killing rule. But that no killing rule does not apply to Peter Parker. So, if you mess around, Spider-Man won't kill you. But if you hurt someone that Spider-Man loves, Spider-Man is fully happy to take off that mask and be like, well, I'm being you on the behalf of Spider-Man as Peter Parker. And you will die today. That is literally what he will do. He turns back into a New Yorker. Like, straight up. And I love that for him. I want that Spider-Man. You know, I want people to do canonical Spider-Man one day. And just be like, okay, canonical Spider-Man. Just have one episode where like, one of the villains messes up. And, like, gets to Aunt May, or gets to Mary Jane, and just, like, they're, like, so mad. He gets so mad that he's like, okay. He takes off his mask. He's like, okay. And he shows up. And he's like, who are you? It's like, who are you? Or, like, most of the time, all Spider-Man's villains know who he is. Like, from what I know. So, like, usually if they do know and they hurt Aunt May, like, obviously. Like, I think what it is, from what I remember, is, like, they don't mess with Spider-Man, because they know that Spider-Man's pulling punches. They know that Spider-Man, they don't know how much he's pulling punches, but they know he's pulling punches. And so, he doesn't know. And then he just becomes I do agree he becomes Batman. It's like with Batman, like, I could see why he didn't kill usual thugs and gangs and goons, because they have families and they're poor and all. But there is such people like the Joker and the Killer Croc that only murder people. Yeah. Unfortunately, but, like, Batman, he doesn't do it because of that. The problem with Batman is that he's a person that refuses to believe that him being a rich guy could be a superpower. That's his main problem. Like, I want one Batman trilogy to be Batman being Batman, Batman realizing he could do better, he can actually save the world with his money, but still refuses and wants to be Batman. And then a final movie where he is Batman, he realizes being Batman's not effective, and he just realizes it's better to be Bruce Wayne. but a better version of Bruce Wayne. That would be a good trilogy, in my opinion, because that is actually what Batman's character arc runs it. He runs for mayor. Yeah, but that's political shit. Like, that's self-centered. He's got so much money that literally there is a story that happens in DC Comics where Batman shows up to Metropolis and supervises Metropolis for like a week for Superman, because Superman has to be out of town, and Lex Luthor just is like, oh, this is my time to shine. And Lex Luthor goes after Batman. Batman is like, you know what? I'm a billionaire. Decides to buy LexCorp just to spite Lex. And that was the day Lex Luthor made the decision, whenever Batman's in town, stop doing stuff. Stop being a villain. Just hold off on our villainous tendencies till Batman leaves town. Because Batman, this is his rationale. He fully believes that instead of Batman is Bruce Wayne, Batman is someone hired by Bruce Wayne. He makes $1 million suit to beat Superman, but not spend it to help the poor. True. It is true. That's the problem. That he can't conceive of the fact that he could use his riches more effectively. If he uses his riches and his superhero was being a rich guy, which it technically is, he could effectively literally change all of Gotham. But because he isn't, and he's still stuck in that mindset of the thugs and gangs killed my mother and killed my parents, so I must be a bat. Like, that's his problem. It's a mental illness at this point, you know, for Batman. It's a form of psychosis, I think. But that's the problem. So, and that, the Lex Luthor story, it proves that Batman literally would do better if he just decided, you know, all these rich billionaire villains, let me buy all their corporations and run them into the ground. That literally would have solved everything. Because most of the things that, you know, that's not going to solve all of the villains, but most of the villains that have money would literally just die in terms of, like, their powers. Their powers would be just gone. If they literally, Batman just was like, let's run their business into the ground. Literally. That's pretty much what they could do. Because their only power is money. So if you took away the money, they don't know how to operate. Basically become his dad. Like, remember in Batman Begins movie that Gotham was good and when the Waynes were alive. But since they got murdered, the whole city became a shithole with Mafia. Yeah, that's a thing. It literally he has to become his dad. Literally. It has to become his dad. And that's where it goes wrong for him. He has to heal his trauma. Superman's got his own trauma that he has got to heal as well. Superman, his only problem is that he has a god complex in the good way, but he doesn't like the idea of, so he has a god complex in a good way, but he doesn't like to be challenged. So the only person he will allow to challenge him is Lois Lane. And that's because he's a super simp. Literally. It's canonical that he's a bottom. He's a bottom. Like, it's hilarious that it's canonical. Like, the fact I know this is sad. But he doesn't like people challenging him unless it's Lois Lane. Because Lois Lane, like, it's kind of like she's the only one that, like, he truly respects with that information, with like his godlyhood, and that he since she can just look at him normally, I feel that that's the only reason why he's able to respect her as much. But yeah, he has a god complex, and he doesn't like to listen to anybody. He doesn't like to listen to anybody. He doesn't like to listen to input. That's the thing with Superman. He's more of a Peter Parker than Jesus. He's a regular. He was a regular Texas guy who one day realized he had superpowers, and only then he discovered he's an alien and was like, okay, and yes, that's literally what it is. It's the epitome of, like, if you gave someone a gun, in a sense, if you gave someone a gun and you were just like, the world's terrible, do you want to fix it? And so he feels like he has all this power, and what happens is, you see it all the time. If you take Lois Lane out of that equation, he gets real Homelander-y real quick. He gets real Homelander-y because of the fact that he is that. That's why Supergirl is just basic. Homelander was modeled after Supergirl. And Supergirl's basically, if you gave Superman all the trauma of not having anybody to keep him in check. He became a villainous demigod in this Snyder film, which is more of a deconstruction of the Superman myth. But the problem is that Snyder film, what's wrong with it is when you make every superhero an asshole, you can't, there's no juxtaposition. Superman has to be the bestest boy. Like, God complex, don't get me wrong, but the bestest boy. Because that, in the superhero canon, he is what everybody models to aspire to. He is the first superhero. He is the one that is the gold standard. And the problem is that you could deconstruct the Superman myth, but you can't do it with Superman, because Superman has to be the gold standard, because then that creates the juxtaposition of how far he will go versus how far the other superheroes will go. And Superman is a chaotic good. He will do it. He will not kill people, but he's a chaotic good at the end of the day. He won't kill people unless it's absolutely necessary. Unless it's absolutely necessary, the fate of the world's gonna end. The whole world's gonna end, and he gotta get it done. He's not gonna try to kill you. Most of the time, he's gonna try to find a way to, like, capture you, like, restrain you, do something like that, because he doesn't like the idea of killing people. He will do it, but he doesn't want to do it unless he has to. Because he sees you as beneath them. Partially. God complex, remember. Whereas a great explanation of this phenomenon is, there's an episode in the Justice League film. Not Justice League film. Justice League show. It's the animated show. Where there's an episode where Superman is encountering these group of superheroes that are newly fledged superheroes, and what makes them different is that they're willing to kill, right? And he's trying to inform them, hey, you don't want to be killing these people. You don't want to be killing them. You have a lot of power, use your powers properly. And what he decides to do, what they do is they go after Superman. They go after Superman, they try to hurt Superman. And at some point, Superman's like, let me play a practical joke on them. And remember, this is Superman's concept of a practical joke is a concept of a god thinking of a practical joke. So this is like divine judgment joke. So what happens is that he makes it look like he's killing every single member of this team very brutally, very like suffocating one, strangling the other, smashing one into pieces. He makes it look like he's picking them off one by one in horrible ways of dispatching them. And then when he gets down to the last person, and he's like, the last person's like, why would you do this? You're Superman. It's like, why wouldn't I? I have all this power, right? And then he pulls the rug from under him, and he shows us his friends were fine. And he's like, see, if I had gone to this extent, would that actually be fair? You know? So, would that be actually fair? Because would you ever learn your lesson? No, because you would be dead. You wouldn't learn your lesson. The world wouldn't be better. And actually, it would probably be worse. Because I would be killing everybody here. And I would be no better than anybody that is trying to do it on the street. And that episode is a perfect example of what Superman is down to his core. He has to be the paradigm. He has to be the perfect boy. Because if he's not, who do we have? Superman versus the Elite is really good. Yes. Because that episode is so important. Because it shows who Superman is. Shows who he is. He's willing to do anything, even if it's like going to hurt him. You know, even if it would actually be inefficient. Art style is not my thing, but the story is good. Yes, I wish they would remake that story. That's the one story I think that is a very important story that I think that it needs to be, they need to do a remake of that in order for people, like, people would really stand behind it, especially the fact of, you get this, you still get the dissection of Superman. You still do. But without ruining Superman's character. You do it in a way where it's a dissection, but we're still holding true to who he is. James Gunn already did it with his movie, isn't he? Yes. Technically, yes. His movie is more correct on who Superman is. James Gunn's version of Superman is good. I know what people are saying, like, oh yes, it feels more like an episode than an actual, like, movie. But that's how Superman's life's supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to feel like, oh yeah, this is like the end-all be-all battle. It's supposed to be like another Tuesday for him. You know? And I think that's what James Gunn got right about Superman. He got a lot of things right about Superman. And I really think, like, that story kind of does it with the Justice Gang. Their version of the Justice League. They kind of do it because it's good. I don't think they do it to the extent that would be a deconstruction of him, but it's a good idea of it. James Gunn's Superman's good because he doesn't deconstruct him at all. He just makes him a regular Superman. Yes, and that's why it's good. Superman has to be who he is, down to his core. He cannot be any version that tries to paint him differently, because at the end of the day, he's the comparison. He's comparison. If you have nothing to compare to, then everyone's an asshole. So that's literally how that works. And the movie kind of goes into that element, but I feel like it doesn't quite go as full as it could into the Superman versus the Elite idea. Like, I feel that what would be important is I want more James Gunn Superman. I want more of that, because, oh boy, that Superman works. Perfect casting, perfect story. I think that Supergirl was done right. I can't wait for Supergirl's movie. I am waiting for Supergirl's movie. I'm absolutely waiting for it, because I really want to watch it. So why compare Snyder Superman and Gunn's version? It makes no sense, because Snyder did a deconstruction, but already and not canon to the character. Yeah, the problem is that I can't see that Superman. Like, when I see James Gunn Superman, I could see that as Superman. When I see Snyder Superman, that is, I think I see it as Snyder Superman is what the media and what the government sees Superman as. Right? That's what I think it is. Like, when you look at Superman from a media and you look at him from, like, a government point of view, Snyder makes sense. But Superman, James Gunn version, that one is from the point of view of a citizen. Of the citizen. That one's from the point of view of the citizen, of someone that is on the floor, on ground floor, watching him up in the sky. You know, you get people that have been saved by him. That's what you get from that version. You get, oh, someone looking up at Superman and seeing this person that is willing to help us no matter what. You know, that is the difference between those two. Is who's telling the story. Snyder, government media, James Gunn, person on the ground floor looking up in the sky. Those are the two versions of what those are. Of what the Superman myth looks like. Not gonna lie, Henry Cavill looks really good. Dude's already 40 years old and Max 6'1", so we need to change at least the cast. The thing is that Henry Cavill's version, the only problem with that version is I can't see Clark Kent in him. You can see Superman. Don't get me wrong, you can see Superman. But he's not weird enough. He's not weird enough. He's not kooky enough. He needs to be weird. Like, Superman is meant to be the weirdo. He's meant to be weird. He's meant to, there's a reason why he hunches over. Why he goes and talks differently. Why he, stutters in his speech. And why he talks about weird stuff. It's to sell the idea that Superman and Clark Kent are completely different people. Remember, Superman writes the sports section. He's allowed to be weird. You know why? Because he became Clark in the last 5 minutes of the first movie, and the next one he dies. True. He does. I just feel like you don't get enough time with Clark. You get a lot of time with Superman in the Snyder version. Like, you need time with him being being Clark, and Clark writing the sports section. Like, it would be so funny for him to just go and just go on a random side quest. Like, oh yes, let's cover the Ravens and the Ravens and, like, the Buffaloes, something stupid as that. Like, let's have him cover that, and we see Clark Kent's take, like, that's his job. That's what he's doing, and it would be so much better if they let that happen. At least James Gunn gave us, like, 2 big dialogues with Lois and Clark. Yes, gave us big dialogues where we got to see him as Clark. We got to see him as Clark but at home Clark that's kind of Superman at the same time. And Superman. You know, we got to see those 3 versions of who Superman is. We got to see from the ground floor perspective, the perspective of someone at the Daily Planet, and then the perspective of who Clark is from Lois Lane's eyes. He needs to be goofy, though. He does, because if he's not goofy and he's just serious all the time, then he's Superman. And part of the reason why Superman does what he does is he knows he comes off scary. He knows, imagine his power set. He looks scary. So imagine for him, he looks scary, so he has to act goofy in order to feel not scary. You know, not as scary. And yes, at work, he's got to be the thing is, he's got to have hobbies. I'm not saying that he has to be, like, the weirdest person in the office, but he has to have hobbies. Like, he has to have hobbies. You know, he has to have a life outside of being Superman in order for him to be Clark Kent. Like, have him take up crochet or something. Sudoku, maybe? I don't know. Something he does in his free time. The guy has got super speed. He can watch, you know, he could go and do, like, a whole art project. Probably. But, like, he's able to do that. Like, I don't see the reason why he can't. You know? Why he can't go and, like, have more hobbies. I feel like this is what needs to happen. Like, that was the one thing I felt about the Supergirl show that was missing. Supergirl show, I feel that with Supergirl, you kind of, it wasn't as far of a rift. Like, I feel that Supergirl needed to be darker. Because she has to be darker in comparison to her cousin. And I feel that when she's Supergirl, she should have been, like, Snyder Cut Superman. But then when she goes into the office, she's just like, oh, I'm Kara. You know? And she's all happy and boozed out. You know, she's drinking. You know, that's how she is. That's how she is in the comics. She's got her emotional support cat and dog. The thing why she's drunk is all because she remembers Krypton, her family. Yes, it's canonical. There's a reason why she's called Red Daughter. There's a reason why she was part of the Red Lantern troop. Because she's so angry about what happened to her that literally she was the most powerful Red Lantern. Like, she is a force to be reckoned with. She will laser someone's head off if she feels like it. There's a reason why Homelander was based off of Supergirl. But that's the thing. She's mature but not mature. Problem is that she has a lot of trauma. So she had to grow up fast. But because she's in a new world that she's not accustomed to, it's hard for her to get a hold of herself. If you get what I mean. So, it's hard. That's why I like Power Girl, because it's Supergirl that calms down. Because she's more mature. The thing is, I want a less mature Supergirl. I feel that, like, her making quips while lasering your head off is way better. You know? She's supposed to be scary. Clark is supposed to be scared of her. Of her having a mental breakdown. Like, anytime Supergirl has a mental breakdown, everything stops. And we gotta go and help her. You know? Because Superman knows how that ends. Superman knows that's gonna end in the world dying. And he's not about to lose this world. You know? Like, for her, I like the fact that Supergirl is the way she is in the James Gunn version. Like, yes, Millie was a perfect choice. Millie's a perfect choice. She's the right amount of immaturity, but mixed with maturity, I feel. Hey, Audrey. And I feel like I just want to see it. I just want to see her go through her trauma. I want her to have, like, alien liquor, hold it with her cat, her super cat next to her, and she's like, ready, guys. Bombs away. Drinks the whole thing and goes out. Like, I want that for her. You know? Melissa Benoist looks too nice and sweet. She would never say something bad. The thing is, she got it close, but she didn't get it close enough. And I think it's mostly because the CW was, like, trying to, like, sanitize it a bit. And because Melissa Benoist, she's done characters that are roughly similar to what Supergirl is when she's being Supergirl. You know, and not Kara. You know, so I feel it was mostly and you could see in the first seasons that, like, she had a little bit of that energy. Like, obviously it was calmed down because the CW was not going to allow that to happen. But, you know, I feel that it eventually Millie's will come out. Millie's version. And I feel Millie's version will be close. I think the only reason why there was a reason why they reached out to Melissa Benoist. James Gunn did reach out to Melissa Benoist. The only reason why she said no was because she was in an abusive relationship during the time of Supergirl, and she did not want to go back to those memories. That is the main reason why she did not do it. But she would have if that did not happen. But for her, you know, she was a perfect casting. It's all about recasting at all costs. And I'm thinking what will be recast, no longer Gal Gadot. Yeah, it won't be Gal Gadot, obviously. They're replacing all the characters from the Snyder Cut. So they're trying to get rid of all of them and trying to make it, trying to, like, change the image of what DC Comics is. I think that we're getting a revival of DC because Marvel's doing so bad. James Gunn's gonna revive DC, and DC's letting him do what he is doing because they know how badly DC has been going for so long. And that's why I think they're letting James Gunn run with Superman and run with all of the DC movies, because I feel that it works for him. You know, they're letting him do what he needs to do because they know that right now they have an edge on Marvel because Marvel's doing bad. Yeah, now people are thinking the new Batman's going to be an actor named Brandon Skellner, but I don't know who it is. You know, yeah, we might get newer names too, which is true. We're getting newer names, we're getting newer interpretations, and I think James Gunn is not... One thing that I'm finding with James Gunn, he's not solely going and casting based upon name recognition. I don't think. Like, sure, yes, the casting Marvelous Mrs. Maisel as Lois Lane was like, okay, yes, you know, we recognize it. We recognize her name. We recognize, you know, who she is. But I feel that he's doing it based upon performance and what he's seen from other people in the past. And I think that is what's going right. I think that that's what's going right with him. He's casting on performance, not on name recognition. And slowly, we're gonna get a resurgence of DC in the superhero mythos. That's gonna be really good. But he's 6'2" in a drama series and all, and he talks a lot about loving Batman, and not long ago posted Instagram picture him buffed and saying he's gonna be in a big role. Yeah, you know, it's gonna happen. I feel Batman's gonna be I really hope James Gunn goes the way that I think he's gonna go. With like Batman. I think that if he goes the way I think he's gonna go with Batman, I think we'll be okay. I think it'll be okay. Like, I have an idea based upon how he's done other roles. He's someone that has studied the comics. So he's gonna do stuff very comic accurate. So we're definitely gonna have the joke of having 100 million Robins. We're probably gonna have the joke of him, like Kyle being like, okay, which child of the week are you bringing today? You know, we're gonna have that joke. You know, the Joker, you know, we're gonna go and he's gonna probably bring back a lot of the stuff from, you know, a lot of the stuff that we see in like older Batman, probably. From what I see, because he's a big comic book nerd, so it's very easy for me to trust him with this. Snyder wasn't a comic book nerd. He was just like, I really like the IP, you know. But James Gunn is a comic book nerd, and you could tell by his movies. There's a reason why Harley Quinn was done right, you know. Now, what do I think that the Suicide Squad was not done very well? Yes, I do agree. But I have to remind myself that a lot of Suicide Squad was cut out of the film. So, we don't know the original version of what Suicide Squad looked like before producers got a hold of it. So, we don't know. But Snyder only reads Dark Knight Returns and wants to make Batman kills people. Nah. Yeah. I do agree. Probably boring. You know, nah, I think what's gonna happen is it's gonna be better, and he is gonna be serious, but what the Nolan films got right is Batman is mostly a deterrent because you don't know where he's gonna come from. Like, a shot from Nolan's film that basically sells the idea of Batman is that a thug member hears a sound in an alleyway that's completely dark. And you see the fear in his eyes, and he runs the other direction. Batman's not in the alley. But it's the fact that he could be in that alley. Batman could be in that alley. And that's what makes Batman good. Batman could be in the alley, but he's not. And that's where Nolan got it right. Nolan got that right. That was a bad scene of a whole 3-hour movie, by the way. The best scene. Yes, it is. Because that scene is the personification of what do thugs and gang members and criminals see Batman as. He's a deterrent in the fact that he could show up anywhere. He's good. It might be you. It might be the next person down the street. It could be anybody. And so that's why he prevents smaller crimes. But yeah. Sorry, my head, I'm drinking my coffee, and so because I'm drinking my coffee, my head's twitching. But yeah, that's Nolan got it right with Batman. I think the only thing that Nolan did not get right about his films was the trajectory of how to end Batman. I think that's the only thing that I think he did wrong. That's the only thing. because he was going the right direction with the Nolan films. But I think that the last film, I think he didn't have an idea of how he was going to end the trilogy. And that's why we got the ending we got. Because that ending really tells me that either you had an ending that the studio said no, or you didn't know how to end it, so you had to end it in a way that is kind of not exactly a good end, and not exactly like a satisfying ending, right? Especially for the character's arc. So that's how I see it with the Nolan films. I feel that it just wasn't finished correctly. I feel that's how I feel about it. I love how it was filmed. I appreciate that he went with an older style of filming, especially when filming on celluloid is not really a thing really anymore. The main problem of Nolan's Batman, Bruce talking about no killing in each movie and then still killing, that at least with Patterson Batman, he didn't kill anybody. Yeah, I do agree. Patterson's, like, Robert Pattinson's version is really good. I agree with that. Patterson version is good. I do agree that that is a problem of the Nolan films. Now, with Batman, I'm willing to forgive a lot of things with the Nolan films because I just see it as, that's how Nolan sees Batman. I do see it as Nolan probably does not read Batman. He definitely did not read Batman. He just was like, ooh. They were like, we need someone to do a Batman film, and he was given a choice of what films that he had to do, and he saw the script from a writer and was like, I like this writing. I would like to do this, and then made his own notes. That's what I think really happened with Batman, is that he just was like, he saw that, he was like, yeah, let's make my own notes. And I think that's what happened with the Nolan films, with the no killing thing being thrown out the window. But I think that it also is like, a lot of people don't like the idea of not killing characters, because, especially in movies, because of the fact that it tends to come off, some people see it as like, oh yes, it's not gonna be as satisfying if everybody lives, because that's an old thing that scriptwriters and movie makers are told. I like the idea he just realized that being a symbol of fear is bad, because he will be inspiring psychos like Riddler that just need to become a symbol of hope for regular citizens. Is probably the best idea for all Batman movies, period. I do agree. I do agree. Because that's the thing, you know. Batman is a, I want a Batman that eventually has all the kids. I want a Batman that's a family man. Like, can I have a Batman where, like, he has all the kids? We got Damian, we got the Red Hood. He doesn't like what the Red Hood does, but he's just like, I'll let him have his methods. You know, we have the Nightwing version. I want the Batman with all the kids. And then everybody's like, why do you have another kid here? Like, can I have that version? Like, I feel like they after one bad Batman movie, I feel that after the one bad Batman movie, they were just like, okay, Robins are not allowed to be in these movies anymore. Like, I feel like that's what happened. Because for some reason, we don't get a Robin anymore. I do agree. Some movies, they just don't know pacing. And the problem is that pacing has only gotten better due to the fact, you'll notice this in shows and movies, but if you'll know, that are newer versus older movies. Pacing's only gotten better because of streaming services, actually. It's only gotten better because of streaming services. And so older movies actually didn't have a really good idea of the idea of a pacing number. What you guys don't realize is in script writing, we actually have mathematics for scripts, which you guys probably when you think script writing, you're not thinking, oh, I gotta do mathematical formulas, basically. Like, you're not thinking that, but it's a thing now. We have to do mathematical formulas for pacing. It's called a pacing number, and basically how it works is that you take how many pages are in your script, and then you can do it two ways. There's two ways to do this formula. So one version of the formula is you go and you calculate where your climax, where your first act, and where your first act, your third act, and your second act are. And then you divide and where they end, basically. And you divide that number, and then you compare that number with with the number where you divide it into 3, right? But then there's the other version. The other version is the one that's now more accepted, because that version's the one we use for binge watch series. How that works is that you take most scripts are actions and reactions. So action and reaction. So what you do is you take how many numbers of actions, how many numbers of reactions, and then you take those numbers, add those together, and then divide it by the amount of pages. If there's not a lot of actions and reactions happening every couple seconds, you need to rethink your script in terms of pacing. So that's how pacing numbers work. They basically tell you how fast does the binge watch number that I show that the second one basically tells you how fast does your script need to go, and then the first formula shows you where does your first act, second act, and your third act need to be, and sometimes fourth act, because most scripts are actually moving from 3-act structure to 4-act structure, so that will sometimes be divided into 4. So yeah, that basically gives you, those are the mathematical formulas we do with script writing, and those formulas were created because of streaming services, because they noticed with binge watching series is that if you put a certain amount of actions, reactions, and you sped up that pace, that you made that pace number higher, then it literally made people stay and watch more episodes. And so that is actually something that is a common thing that we have now. Every show uses it now. So if you notice, if you get hooked on a show, ask yourself how many times something happened. Funny how most movies there are like 10 hours of raw shooting and need to be cut down to 2 hours. It's because a lot of it, we shoot the same scene over and over and over and over. And so we'll shoot the scene like with the same line. We'll shoot the scene where we're having the actor ad-lib. We'll shoot the scene where we're doing like different emotions for it. That's assuming we have a lot of money also. If we have a lot of money. We'll go and we'll shoot the scene where we give the actor props. We'll shoot it in multiple different ways because it's known in editing where you're going to want more shots than you really need. So yes, those 10 hours seem excessive. But when you realize that that's 10 hours of extra footage of different versions of the film that could have been, that's the way to think about it, is that any way those were put, if those were put in the film, how different would the film be? And that's really why there's 10 hours footage and it's getting cut down to 2. And sometimes it actually needed to be cut down to 1. So that's the idea. That's why they do it. They do it multiple different times. And what Marvel was doing right for a long time. The thing like Snyder Cut is basically 4 hours raw shooting of Justice League movie and still needs to be cut. Yeah. But the problem is that you see 4 hours but of raw shooting. But really, that's probably more than that. I know they marketed it as like, oh, there was 4 hours cut from Justice League. But it's probably way more than you realize. There's a lot more hours of Justice League that were cut. And I feel sorry for those editors that have to go through and edit these films, especially when you have like 20 hours of footage. There's some that even have more than that. Like, it gets excessive. I will tell you that. You throw enough money at a film and it will get excessive. But it's only because they want to try different things. They want to try different things. They want to see different versions of a scene. They want to see, oh, what does the comedic look of the scene look like? What does a sad look of the scene look like? You know, because in editing, you'll find what is the vibe of the film that way. But yeah, that's basically what it is. I have put off playing Stardew for so long. Let's get into Stardew, because I have not played Stardew, and it's already a sauna in my room. So let's do that. There we go. Time to play Stardew. Time to play Stardew. Yay. But yeah. That's my view of Justice League and all of that. And I'm a big movie, like I said, I'm a movie nerd. But yeah, the other thing that I also, let me say hi to my cat. Oh, it gave me algae. The other thing that, wait, 15 wood, Maru, purple mushroom. She wants a purple mushroom. Okay, let's get a purple mushroom for Maru. But the other thing that movie-wise I've also been looking into is like how like movies are kind of moving away from the idea and the structure of how things have been. No, I don't want... Come on. There we go. Okay, so let's throw this away. We don't need it. Let me see. Yeah. So, but movies are moving away from the old structure of movies, and it's kind of sad because you're losing the artistic version of movies, where they used to have like a stylistic idea instead of like a story driven idea, and we're kind of walking away from that. There are some filmmakers that are coming back to it, but I feel like it's missing. Like, we're missing like the artsy films. Artsy films are kind of going to the wayside, and I know it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like, oh my gosh, what are we gonna do without the artsy films? You know, I'm not saying the world's gonna end because artsy films are gonna be gone, but like, it's kind of sad that artsy films are kind of like not. You can only see an artsy film if you're like watching like a short movie, like if you're watching like short films, or you're watching stuff like you're watching like kind of like weird artist like music videos. Despite Joss Whedon being such I need to understand that he was given probably even more than 4 hours of Snyder Justice League, and being told make it 2 plus remove the dark side plus 20 plus jokes, make Superman to save people in it, and people won't judge us to make it less. Yeah. After realizing it's a sign that I tried, it's different. Yeah. That's the thing. You know, Joss Whedon tried his best. You know, it's hard being someone that is like given the film to basically, for people, they knew that that film was not going to do well. They knew that Snyder's version was going to be very, very different. It was going to be very hard. And when you get a film where it's basically somebody else's rendition, you have to change somebody's version of a film, it's really hard to come back from it. Okay, let my chickadoos out. My wonderful chickadoos. But it's hard when you're handed a film that is not exactly like, it's kind of already not good. You know, it's hard to do that because you know that what you did was not your fault. What you did was absolutely not your fault, but everybody's gonna blame it on you. That, oh yes, you created a terrible version of Justice League. You created this, and it's just that, yeah, I was put in a bad situation where I'm taking over a film that shouldn't have been mine in the first place. You know, that's how I see it. He was just put in a really, really bad situation, and that, you know, what are you gonna do? There's nothing much. Oh, my chickadoos are mad at me. My poor chickadoos, I'm sorry. I didn't feed you enough. I didn't feed my chickens enough. But that's the thing. And I think he took it with a lot of grace, knowing that he was like, people are gonna hate me. People are absolutely gonna hate me for no good reason. And I think he took it with grace. He took it on the chin, and he tried his best. You know, he knew that no matter what, everybody was not gonna like it. Even if the movie did good, right? They would be like, oh, it's so different from Snyder's version. Like, Snyder did it better. You know, I think that's part of the reason why I think Joss Whedon let Snyder put out his Snyder cut. Right? I think that's the main reason why he let it happen, because I think that lets people quiet it down, and also reminds people that the fact that the Snyder cut exists reminds people that Joss Whedon wasn't the problem. He was just given a movie that he had to take responsibility for. And they probably paid him a lot of money because of the fact they knew that he was going to take the blame. He was, like, called to make some scenes to make the movie less stressful to watch and more family-friendly. Weeks later, he was told, make it all himself and no shit, he was angry at everyone. Yeah, he was put in a bad situation. You're not, how are you supposed to react when, you know, you're taking over somebody's film? And I know how people are like, oh yes, they spent a lot of money on like Superman's stash because Superman, you know, Henry Cavill did not want to shave it. It is like, it's contractual. All of that was a contractual mess. That was just studio politics. And that movie stopped being a movie. Basically. After studio politics got into it. Yeah, it was. It was just mostly studio politics. And, you know, that's why I don't hold any judgment towards those people, because I know how hard it is to take a film that wasn't yours. Or to work on a film that it wasn't your fault that it went badly. You know? Yes! There's tree saplings! Okay. Now. Oh, no! I gotta go and build the fence! Okay. And, but yeah, it's hard for them. Said our movie needs mustaches, and most of all, life comes with one Tom. Yes. Like I said, it happens. I know how hard it is when making movies happens. A lot of stuff that you are like, oh, can this not happen right now? You know, type of things. Because people forget movies take over the course of a year. And imagine how much your life changes over the course of a year. Your life is not the same. You go through different things. Some people change their hair. Some people, you know, they go through bad breakups. You know. And what ends up happening is that, sure, yeah, the person probably... Oh my gosh, I put it in the wrong place. Oh my gosh. No, I don't want... I'm just gonna waste my wood, am I? Finally. But you just have to have to understand that these people, you know, are people, and sometimes things, you know, don't work out the way they want it. It's hard to make a movie go right. A lot of things have to go right for a movie to go right. I'm sorry. Goat. I made the mistake of, like... What? It's already lights out? Jeez. But yeah. But I'm excited for a lot of films and animated series. I'm very happy about the fact, you know, a lot of these shows are going independent, so because the more shows go independent, the more studios, the more control these animated studios have. Like, the best thing that it has happened is people going independent, because of the fact is that you guys are going to see a lot more studios that have better productions, less things go wrong with the studio when that happens. Okay, I'm just gonna go. I gotta go find Maru. You're gonna notice that some shows are gonna have less problems with their animation. The story's gonna be more fully fledged, because since they're gonna not be hindered by a studio going and telling them what to do, it's gonna be very easy for them. They just have to sell the animated series. It's gonna be easier for you guys to have a more consistent story and to be able to get more interesting perspectives, which I think is good. I think that's something that is going right now. Let me see. Hopefully I did not miss Maru. Even more sad that good movies don't get that much attention and money. Like, there was Thunderbolts movie, a really good Marvel film that questions societal problems, but even it outrun its budget. On the other hand, the Minecraft movie. I think the problem is that with Thunderbolts, it was good up until they started doing that branding campaign of, oh, we're the new Avengers. When it did that, I think that's where it lost people. Because then you're expecting that movie to be, you're expecting too much of that film. And at that point, any ideas of what that film could have been, a lot of people were like, oh, nah, that's not for me anymore. Yes, but when you spoil it in the marketing campaign, it ruins it. They had to I think it probably would have done better if they just didn't brand it as New Avengers. Because think about it. You're basically saying, oh yeah, these are the better Avengers. These are like the new ones that we want you to care about. And the problem is, when you say New Avengers, it kind of discounts the ones that people grew up loving a little bit. So a lot of people, they had a bad taste in their mouth. Yeah, but I think that it's not that it wasn't gonna make money. I think the problem is a lot of people, I think they were really hoping for big theater sales. And nowadays, it's really hard to get big theater sales. If you're gonna get big theater sales, you have to literally... No, I don't want to drink the milk. In order for you to get big theater sales like that nowadays, you need something that is going to draw people there. And a lot of people don't have that when they go to the movie anymore. Like, sure, yeah, you could do it with a big name nowadays, but a lot of people are investing in the people that they're watching, is what I'm finding. They're investing in who are the people that I'm going to this movie to watch. Should I care about them? Do I care about them? And then eventually, then it becomes, okay, I do, then this is what I'm gonna do. But because a lot of these people haven't built up an audience to care about them, like, think about, like, remember when Markiplier did his show Into Sleep, right? And it did super well. It did super well. He made that deal with Amazon, where if it got in the top spot, he would be able to make more movies, right? That only happened because Markiplier has built such a community. He didn't make the film. But the fact he didn't make the series, but the fact that people had so much of a backing around, him at this point, it offset a lot of it. Yeah, I like everyone got early release on Disney Plus. Like, do you give money? This is why I say that right now we're in a tricky period where movie studios don't know how to market their films in a way where it will force people to go to the box office, but then force people to then watch on streaming services, because they don't want to lose the people that are going to watch on streaming services, but they don't want to lose the audience that wants to go to the movies, right? So they're in a little bit of a catch-22, that they want to do stuff the way they want to do it, but it's not going to go the way they want it. My raccoon! I know, you're hungry. Oh, I need 5 of them. Oh, and I didn't need to smoke it. No. Well, I could sell it. But, let me check out my wine. Let me see. Cactus. But they don't know if they should, like, go and market it to theaters, because if they market it to theaters first, then they're not making back their return fast enough. But if they market it to theaters and streaming service, yeah, you're getting the money all at once, and you're getting that big box office number at the very first week, but it comes at the cost that you're losing a lot of that money later on, because then people are just gonna watch it on the streaming service. I think the best thing they could do is do what Amazon does and offset it with, like, a money amount. You could say, oh, movies in theaters, make it a category. Movies in theaters. And you can pay for this. That's the best thing that you could do nowadays with it. Not to say that's the best thing in terms of, like, the consumer, where you're like, oh, I don't want to pay for a movie but considering that you'll see the movie in a month afterwards, because they'll put it free on streaming services, most people will wait for that. Now, some people who have to cover the movie will not wait, but that, even like Superman, it had a crazy advertisement campaign that someone said was at least $2 million even after the movie got $6 million office So far, the theater numbers must really be a vet. Yeah, Taylor Swift got it right when she did it. She absolutely did it right because she basically was like, okay, let's make it the event of a century. You could come to the theater, I will have you sing, I will let you dance, you can record videos of you doing everything in the theater and stuff like that. And it became an event. Because then at that point, you're not just going just so that way you can go and watch Taylor Swift's, like, Eras Tour movie. You're going because you're like, I'm gonna meet people in my troupe. I'm gonna meet other people who want to go and celebrate this movie with me. And then we'll go and be crazy people together. We're gonna bring our orbs. We're gonna do dances. We're gonna go and do fairy circles. Let's do this. And that's what happened. And it gave people a reason to go to the theater because you're like, I'm not just gonna go because I wanna go. I'm gonna go and be crazy together with my buddies. Like, I don't know they're my buddies yet. I don't know who they are. But you know what? We're in the same troupe. We're bound by the same logic. And that's where she went right with that. You have to make going to the movie theater more than just going to the movie theater. If you make it like Rocky Horror Picture Show where you're basically dressing up as the characters, you're going and you're allowing people to go crazy. Hey, Groggy, welcome. You're letting people go crazy in the movie theater. I know it sucks for the theater staff, and I know the theater staff are groaning at me. Whoever is, like, listening to me that is, like, done movie theaters like this before, and they're like, oh no, someone's saying it. But it's true. If you did that, more people would go. You have more reason for people to go because they would be like, I want to be crazy in a theater with other people. Let me have that. Because if you want the quiet experience, do it at home. If you want the quiet experience of, oh yes, I want to do that, you're gonna do it at home. For example, when I went to Twister, a good example of this is when I went to Twister. I went and I watched the Twister movie, but I did it in 4D. And you know what? When I did it in the 4D version, that was a reason for me to go to the theater. Because to feel how it felt going and having your body shaken and like wind machines blowing at you, water sprinkling on you, you have like in the corner stuff like lights like going like sparking in the corners. Like, that was an experience. I'm not gonna get that in my living room. I'm gonna get that in a movie theater. That's better. That is a 4D experience thing for like Twister was really good. That one was like a really good example of doing a movie like that. Because that gives me a reason to leave my room. To go to the theater, right? Whereas if let's say I went to the theater and watched it in the theater. Yeah, I'm gonna be watching it in the theater, but it's like there's nothing added to it. And especially where I live, where like the tickets could be like $20. You know, just $20 just for the ticket. Concessions added, make that $40. I'm spending upwards of $40 just for one person to go to a theater, not including transportation. You know, not including transportation. That's a lot of money. And for some people, that's too much money. So that's why I say they need to come up with, each movie has to come up with what is their gimmick. I know people like hated the days of like, oh, these are done. Of the 3D glasses. Like, oh my gosh, the 3D glasses. Though a lot of people are like, ugh, they'll groan. But that was a gimmick that was successful. And I think that people need something these days. Now, obviously not 3D goggles. We've learned 3D goggle experience, not as great. But 4DX is pretty good. They need to come up with new ways to do it. To bring you to the theaters, building new experiences. Like, I would pay for someone. Hey, Artcraft! I'm doing good! How are you doing in the basement? Is the basement good? Is the thermostat put to the right temp? Like, is the thermostat good? You know, are the food options great? You know, I know I supplied it today with an ample amount of popcorn today. I was like, movies today, this is the vibe. We're going for popcorn. I made sure to supply it with some hot dogs and some pretzels. Today was the vibe. So how's it been in the basement? Is the basement doing good, basement dwellers? How is it? It's been so good. I've been good. My internship's been going well, and my boss loved my idea of what I'm doing for his social media campaign. So I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm glad it's like starting to go well. I'm like, yes, it has begun. But yeah, he loved the idea, and we're only doing like the mock-ups right now of like what it is, because obviously I'm not going to be able to get the whole social media campaign planned out before I, like, you know, graduate. It's not going to happen. That, like, it's not because I won't make it happen. It's that he is so cautious about the social media imprint of his company that he doesn't want to mess up. Which I understand. I understand why he would be like that. And that's a good position to have about your social media footprint. I added a lurk button. So now you guys can put command lurk, and if you want to let me know you're here, but you don't obviously want to, like, go and tell me, like, you want to let me know you don't want to talk. You just want to let me know you're here and that's it. We can make that happen. So yeah, it's command lurk. I have it for both YouTube and Twitch. So you're able to use it for both. Oh my gosh, more of my fence line broke. Great. Let me build more fence. But yeah, so basically I've been working on that for his social media campaign, and the nonprofit is like really good. It basically I don't work for the UN, but I work with someone that works with the UN. So the United Nations. So I work with someone that works with the United Nations, and I do my thing. So I'm doing a whole rebrand, and so, ooh, is that a truffle? Is it a truffle? It's a truffle! Oh my gosh, we got truffles. That means we can make truffle oil. Truffle oil! Oh. Are we gonna complete community center today? Oh my gosh. If we complete community center today, that will be so good. That would be so good. We might complete community center today. Okay, let me fix the fence line, because the fence line is like broken. But that's it. So yeah, so I've been working on that. I got that command button for you guys, so you guys will enjoy that. I guess this there. Okay, and then there. We're gonna try get that. Okay. But yeah. So working on that, and then you know, my family is doing okay. Sister visited the oral surgeon. So she's getting her braces. She's getting more braces. So she's excited about getting more braces. Put on her teeth. Ooh, maple syrup. We have maple syrup for the bear. But do we have... We don't have what I want, though. That's the only sad part. I want oak resin! Give me the oak resin. But yeah. So, let me go. Is there anything missing on this side? No, there's nothing missing on this side. Okay. This is the high quality wood fence. Okay. But yeah. But, so I have that going on. Let me scratch my arm. Itchy. I have that going on. Let me sell the dino mayonnaise. And so she visited the oral surgeon. They're putting more braces on her teeth. Currently, right now, what they're trying to do is she has a tooth that is lodged underneath the rest of her teeth. So she has a tooth on her like upper bite and another tooth, two teeth on her lower bite, that they have teeth that are supposed to be in places that are not in those places. They're inside the bone of her mouth. And so what they have to do is they have to move the teeth over. I forgot what it was going to do. Greenhouse. That's what it was going to do. No, I didn't want that fence to be there. So they got to move around her teeth. Because right now, the teeth can't go down because there's a tooth there. And they're adult teeth, too. So it's like, it's not like she can go and, like, just, like, let it... They can't just, like, pull it out because it's, like, an important tooth. So they'd have to move it out. So in order for them to move it out, they have to, like, use the braces, use a bunch of, like, rubber bands, and then those will move the teeth over. And then it'll let the one that needs to come down to come down into her mouth. And then from there, they're gonna fix a little bit of her bone structure in her mouth, and eventually her teeth will be perfect. I went to the dentist also. For those of you who are wondering what happened at the dentist, everything was good for me. My teeth, perfect. My dentist's like, keep doing what you're doing. There's nothing wrong with your teeth. Literally, you're my best client. So, which I'm glad. I'm glad I don't have anything wrong with my teeth. You know, for me. Like, I do have a gap tooth. Like, I have gap teeth. So, I have, like, a significant gap in between the two front parts of my teeth. Which is fine. I don't really have any problem with it. And I don't have any insecurity around it. So for me, it's like, oh, I have a gap tooth in between those teeth. So yeah. So for me, I gotta get back to the house before I pass out. So for my teeth, they're pretty perfect because I got a small mouth. but I don't have a lot of movement. So my teeth don't really move very much. And in terms of, I'm gonna pass out. Watch, I'm gonna pass out. Yeah. My mouth doesn't have really a lot of movement. There's not really a lot of crowding. And then I only have wisdom teeth, but in one half of my mouth. So, like, I think it's on my left side, I only have wisdom teeth. I don't have wisdom teeth on the other side. They never grew. Like, my dentist is like, you either never developed wisdom teeth in that half of your face, or two, they're so hidden up in, like, your bone's jaw structure that they're not visible on x-ray. Like, which, I don't know which one is, like, the answer. So, for now, I'm going with the answer of, I just don't have wisdom teeth on one side of my mouth. So, for me, my dentist isn't, and then my wisdom teeth don't really have any movement. So, for me, I don't really have any problems in terms of my teeth. And so, I have, like, a small mouth. My teeth are pretty good in terms of, like, how they are. They don't move. They don't go anywhere. They're pretty spacious, so they're not, like, crowding crazy. Spreading weeds have caused damage to your farm. In what way? My smoked perch. But yeah. So, I've got that going on with my teeth. My teeth are pretty good, and they're perfect to my dentist, at least. And we had, like, a good talk, because my dentist, she always, that's something, I have, like, a really good dentist. Like, find yourself a dentist that's willing to gossip with you. Like, if you're at the nail salon. I tell you, it's fun. We'll be talking. She'll be working on my mouth, but I'll be just talking. We'll be talking while I do that. Like, and we'll just be, like, talking about stuff, and she was like, oh my gosh, so I heard you got into, like, a bad car accident. I'm like, yeah, girly, I got into an accident. You know, it was bad. I bit off the sides of my tongue. She's like, it grew back pretty good. Your tongue grew back pretty good. Which is funny. Talking with her about that. And then she was like, so what is it like? You know, I know you, oh, I got another tree. But, like, it's gotta be crazy now. Like, the healing process alone must have been, like, tough. And I'm like, yeah, it was tough. I could not speak for, like, 4 days. You know? And she's like, man, you must be a trooper. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. You know? I would. But yeah, we were talking about that, about the accident. She was also asking about how you guys are, because she knows about you guys. She knows, oh! Truffle oil! Oh my gosh, we got truffle oil! Come here, Asana. Come here, Asana. But she knows about you guys, and she's like, oh, how's your, like, community members? How are they doing? You know, are they treating you good? You know, how they been? And I told them, yeah, they're doing good. You know, it's been fun. We've gotten more of them lately. They're coming from different platforms. I got some new ones from other countries. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome like, it's great. And then I asked her about how she's doing, and she's doing good as well. She like, we were talking about her nails, and
everything like that. We talk like if we're in like a hair salon, basically. Like, but of course she's got like dental tools like down my like mouth, in my mouth. Like she's got dental tools in my mouth, and she's like going and like scraping my mouth with like sharp utensils. And I'm just like talking up a storm. Aw, the truffle oil, I can't use it. But wait. Didn't... He needed truffle oil. Okay, so let's give him it. That way we don't get more questions about the truffle oil. But yeah. So yeah, she was asking about you guys, and then I talked with her about her nails and her day, and you know what's going on with them. They always love when I'm over there, because then I like to go and like, I know it's hard for them, especially it's like, oh, everybody's like, you know, no one likes to have like people scratching on your teeth. And then almost always, like, when you go to the dentist, you're just like, oh, your dentist tells you, oh, you're not doing enough. Oh, you're not flossing enough. Oh, you're not going and, like, brushing enough, or so like that. And I'm happy that at least, you know, for her, she's like, I like to at least, like, be like, oh, I hope your day is going good. I hope you're doing great. How's your kids? How everything? Because I like to make sure that the people who are taking care of me are doing well. You know, I like to find that out. And so I was very, very happy she was doing well, and she was doing great. It was good. But yeah, so that was been going on. I've also been checking out some new artists. Which has been cool. I found this new poet on... I found a new poet on TikTok, actually. Her name's Cecilia Martinez. She makes wonderful poetry. Like, girl is gifted. And I love her poetry, and she has a poetry book, actually. It's called A Magnificently Ordinary Romance. And it's a book of all the poetry she wrote during her relationship to this guy. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. And some of it's lovey-dovey, some of it's like, she's very honest with her poetry. She's very good. I highly suggest you check her out. Give her some love. She's really good. And I was just like, I was listening to her, like, her poetry, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. The way she describes things, and she describes the relationship. It's so... It's hard to describe it secondhand for you guys, because it's like, you know, I would have to have the book in front of me. And the way she says it, on TikTok, what she does, she will read excerpts from her book. And it's just like, it's really cool to hear how she just, like, describes things. It's just, like, one that I thought of, that I'm thinking of right now, is that she did one where she was talking about, like, all the letters that... What if a cosmic being gave you all the letters that were never sent to you? All of the passing thoughts, all the music someone made for you, the recipes that people made because they wanted to show that they loved you. They made because they heard you liked a certain food, and they wanted to learn the recipe, so they made a whole recipe for you, and so they wrote it out of love. All the different things that were created and loved, and the impact of just knowing you. I was like, oh my gosh. And she has a poem about that,
And it's such a wonderful one, and it's all the letters you never read. All the letters and all the pieces you never read. And it's all the stuff that someone never sent. All the things that were created and never sent, or all the things that you saw but never realized the intent or what was behind that. Why did they make that? You never knew the true answer. And I think it's such a wonderful piece because it shows not just like the things that are made out of relationships, but the things that familial love, friendship love, what are the things that the impact you have on other people's lives that bring people joy and bring people, let people see your heart. And I think that that's a really good poem, and I took a lot from that poem. I was like, oh my gosh, that poem's really good. And I really appreciated it. There was other ones that I was like, oh, those are so cool. And what's cool about her is the fact that not that she's trying to say anything cool. She's not trying to say anything remarkable. She's not trying to be cool and be like, oh, I am gonna write the best breakup thing. But it's just how ordinary and honest her thoughts are. Like, every word that she says, you can hear how it would be in a conversation. And it was refreshing to hear. So I really appreciate it. I like looking at other, even if it's not something, you know, I would normally look into, I like looking into other people's art. Because you don't know, you might find something really interesting, you know? And that was something I was like, oh, that one was refreshing. But yeah, so please check her out, Cecilia Martinez, please do. She's really good, and I think that girls gotta get into like songwriting at some point. Girls got a future. And she has another book. That's actually the book that I'm telling you about, a magnificently ordinary romance. That one is actually her second book. She has her first book is a diary of a romantica. That is just again, her writing about a relationship that happened to her. But I love it. I always love finding new pieces of art. Another one broke. Can you guys just not break on me? I know it's a temporary fence, but can we not? I'm not done planning out my fencing. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know how you guys are doing. I haven't seen anybody talk in a while. Let me see. Let me check on the YouTube side. Let me check on YouTube. I haven't seen much. Let me check on the other side. Let me check. See how it's going. Yeah. Let me see. Good. Okay. Everything's going well. But yeah, so I really appreciated it, and like I said, Cecilia is pretty good. But I've been looking at that music. I've also been checking out some new artists that have been popping up on my my For You page, and I've also been like
checking out some other streamers and checking out like who's catching my eye nowadays. Who knows? But yeah, I've been checking out some streamers, checking out some new things. I'm just trying to try some new stuff. Also, another good news that's happening. I got free money. I got money for to go to Halloween Horror Nights. Like, you know how sometimes you can manifest something so hard and then it just comes to you and you're like, how did I make this happen? That just happened recently to me. I was like, oh man, I was going to the dentist and I was like, oh, I really would love to. My mom was like, so I know you were planning on going to Halloween Horror Nights. Have you set aside money for that? Are you ready? And I'm like, I don't know. I gotta pay this car payment and everything like that, and I wasn't sure. I went to the dentist, right? I opened up my bank account because I was like, well, I have to pay the dentist. Let me make sure, like, I haven't seen my bank account in a little while. Let me check on it and see what's going on. I opened my bank account. $500 just showed up in my bank account. Literally, out of thin air. And I was like, I got $500 suddenly. And I'm like, how does that happen? Apparently at school, I have a scholarship. So because of my scholarship, sometimes I will get some free money. Because what will happen is when you have a scholarship, if you don't use your entire scholarship, what will happen is they will send you the rest. Because that money is technically yours. And so what they do is they're like, okay, use it on like school and car payments and stuff like that. So I was like, I can use this money for the car payment and then I have the other money for when I go to Halloween Horror Nights. I got free money to go to Halloween Horror Nights. Technically. In a retroactive weird way. But yeah, I managed to get free money for that. And I was like, yay, I get to go technically in girl math sense. Even though, yes, the money technically is mine. The money is technically mine. But the fact that it like showed up in my bank account, I consider it as like free money in girl math sense. And by that logic, I technically am going to Halloween Horror Nights for free. By girl logic. You know? By girl money. Girl math. You know? And so, yeah, I got like $500 that magically showed up in my bank account, and I was like, yes, life is good. You know, I don't know how this happens to me sometimes. I'm just like, yeah, that worked out. And I'm very happy about it. Okay, I am trying to see if there's any good rocks here. Is there any diamond or... I know I ran out of time to go to the desert. I want to go to the desert. That's the problem. I want to go to the desert and do the skull cavern. But I don't got time to go to the skull cavern. Ooh, gold. That's good. I don't got time to go to the skull cavern because, obviously. So, let's keep going. I'm gonna hit on these rocks. Nothing here? Nothing interesting? Seriously? None? I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting, but it seems like there's nothing. Alright. Well. There's nothing interesting. I guess let's check on marlins, smallmouth bass, frenzy and cider snap. I could, but why would I? Ooh, I can get my void essence back and my hardwood. Let's see. Anything worth my time? I know I could probably get these in there, but I'm like, part of me is like, ooh, a lava katana. Oh, a lava katana would be so good. Just lava katana. Space boots. I think I have these. A master slingshot. Do I have a Yes, I have a master slingshot. Explosive ammo. Wall sword. Decorative. Actually, let me check on the quotas, because I have not completed that. 28. I still haven't found everything. That's surprising. I'm not surprised by it, but I'm like surprised by it at the same time. I'm like, I still haven't found everything? Let me see. Oh, there is me. Let's pick up these. And then what I need to do let's throw this away. And dandelion. There we go. Okay. So now let's go in to here. But yeah, I've also been working up on new ideas. Part of me wants to redo the intro, like the starting soon screen. I'm thinking about changing it, but it's been like hard because I'm like trying to figure out how I want to change it. Because I want to eventually do something where like lasts longer than a wooden fence. Most durable type. Iron fence lasts longer than the stone fence. Gate. Grass starter. Oh, I just need copper bars for another cheese. And then earth crystal, which we can just go in there and do. This one's the only one where I'm like, ugh, I need to figure out how to do it. It's annoying. Let me see. Okay, on the paths or floors. I want to see what it does. Oh. kind of like if you want like a sidewalk. You know what I might do is I kind of want to do for this area. Ooh, leaks. The leaks. I want all the leaks. What I might just do is I kind of want to have like the smooth section of it be... See, let me get the cheese because I want to sell the cheese. Worst case scenario, I can always like... I can always fall asleep in here. Yeah. Alright. Okay. And... Heh. Done. Okay. So. We got that going. Yay! Okay. So, I think what I'm gonna do is I kind of want to create like a mixture of cobblestone. Oh yeah, I forgot. I want to create it like a mixture of like cobblestone and like regular. Ooh, Marlin, thank you. Does that count toward my total? No. But I can definitely gather some hardwood from that. This. My little dinosaurs. Okay, so this is the first thing I'm gonna do. We're gonna go here, and I want to test doing this. So we're gonna go not there. Not there. Here. That's crystal floor. We don't want crystal floor, but we want this. So we're gonna have this. And what I want to do is we need to do this for the pathing here. There. Uh-huh. There. Let's get more rocks. We need to get more rocks. Because we don't have rocks from ammunition anymore. Oh, another crayfish. You want that? Nope. I don't want the crab pot. There. Alright, so let's put the bait back on the fishing rod. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the quarry and I'm going to get a bunch of stone. Okay, we're just gonna put it here. There. Good. That works for me. Now, the idea is we're gonna go like this. Also, the other trailer that I've been watching is the For Good trailer. And I know other people probably have talked about this, but like the line where the line that sold me is where she's like, "Oh, I need you to see me with your eyes." But and then she tells Glinda's like, "Oh yes, I'll definitely do that." And she's like, "No, I need you to see me from their eyes, with your eyes." And then Glinda, like, literally is on the verge of crying. And I love that, because I was like, oh my gosh, they nailed it. They definitely nailed the idea of how Glinda feels. She doesn't want to do this to Elphaba. She's like, I don't want to hurt my best friend. But Elphaba's like, unfortunately, that's part of the role you have to play, unfortunately. I'm the wicked witch, and I have to give them a wicked witch. You are the Glinda the Good, so you have to play the part of being Glinda the Good. And you see this apprehension from, like, Glinda, where she's like, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna be hurting my best friend. And she's, but Elphaba has come to realize that no matter what they do, even though, like, Glinda loves Elfie, the world doesn't. And that's partially the fault of Glinda, because Glinda, oh, that was a lightning. That's not a good sign when I hear some thunder going on in the background. That is definitely not good. Ah, gosh. Okay, let's... Okay, good. Okay. So, the idea is I want to have, like, a cobblestone path and then, like, a smooth path. Is the idea. There. Let's get all of this stuff. So much stone. But I really like it, and I'm excited for that one. My dad's also excited, by the way. For those of you who are wondering about my dad who loves watching movies, he's excited for that. We actually watched Wicked, the movie, the first movie, when we were on vacation. And he was like, oh my gosh, there's more? And I'm like, yeah, they only adapted the first part of the stage play. And he's like, we only got the first part? And I'm like, yes, you don't worry. The second part's a tearjerker. And so he's excited. We're planning on watching the movie, hopefully when it comes out in theaters, because I want to see if we can get it in the 4DX. Because, like, I would love to see Wicked in 4DX. I think that it might be something where it'd be worth doing that. Especially my dad. My mom, she's a lost cause. My mom cannot stay up long enough. Like, she can't stay awake long enough for her to watch movies. So, it happens, you know, some people, they can't last in movies. So, that's how my mom is, and, you know. So, it makes me the perfect person to, like, watch movies with my dad. But, oh boy, does that make it hard. Okay. We're gonna do 50 of this one. And 50 of the other. Get rid of the acorn and that. Okay, so let's go and start putting this. I kind of want to do this, where it's like... It's kind of like a cobblestone road type thing going on. Ooh, but I gotta move these. Ugh. There. I want to kind of like create like a cobblestone road vibe with this. And then... Oh, that does not sound good. I'm hearing the lightning, like, around... I'm right now hearing, like, the lightning storm that's happening outside, and I'm like, oh gosh. That is not a good sign. Okay. There. Maybe it's that we go through here. Ah, yes. That might be it. Yeah. There we go. There. And then this part, we're gonna go and put this, and I want it to be all like cobblestone-y. It's not really going... The vision's not really working. Not really working. Like, it works here, where, like, there's enough room. But not there. 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 Good. And then... we're gonna do that. I'm gonna... There. There, and then... we're gonna go like that. Uh-huh, 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 uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna craft the square ones as well. I'm gonna craft the square ones. Yeah. Okay, so the rest of them are gonna be the square ones. The square ones, we're gonna put them like this. There you go. There. We're gonna do it like that. Only the green areas I'm leaving alone. There. And then there. Okay. And then this part. But yeah, I don't think people are ready for how depressing For Good's gonna be. It's just gonna be like, people are gonna see that movie and be like, oh my gosh, it's so sad. And not realize that, like, that's the thing with Wicked. It's a very sad moment. You're seeing, like, this person, like, be run through the coals by the media. And, like, everybody misconstruing her story. And one change that I saw that I really like is they made it to where Nessa, they fixed it to where Nessa is like, the shoes allow her to levitate instead of allowing her to like walk. Like, so in the movie it gives her the power of flight, which I appreciate, because then that like gives her, it fixes like the ableism like that was in the film. Because like not every person's like, boo-hoo, like, I'm sad about my, disability, and I feel that at that point I'm glad they like reversed that, and they were like, okay, in this film we're just going to acknowledge, yes, Nessa has a disability, and yes, she does wish she can, live a normal life, but like, it's not like an end-all be-all type thing. I'm not gonna make it. I am going to fall asleep, most likely. Yep, I did. But it's gonna be fine. It's fine. We're gonna have paved roads. Before you know it, we'll have paved roads. We'll have paved roads. And everything will be good. Alright. Got a diamond. Yes, Harvey, I got it. And then deluxe bait. Let's see. Let's check our greenhouse.
I'm really hoping eventually we can get fruit from our greenhouse, but it said 28 days. So. Okay. We do have copper. Because we do need to make tappers. We have all these trees. And the reason why we have the variation of the trees is so that way we can see if we can get the ability to get something different. We got iridium. We'll get iridium sprinklers. Okay. Let's check on the... Let's find the crayfish. Let's go and see if we can get more crayfish. It sucks. I really... I want to help my raccoons, but unfortunately I can't help my raccoons. My raccoons! They need love. And I want to give them that love, but unfortunately it's a little touch and go right now. Let's see. Woo! Yes. Okay. Alright. And then what can we throw out? We can throw out the clam. The clam's not needed. There. And then bait. Good. Now let's put the bait back. There. Okay. So we did that. Let's go back to building stone floors. This is the vision. Yes. The vision. This is the vision. Okay. So. Not this. This. Okay. There. There. And then we're gonna go like this. And we're gonna go like that. And we're gonna go like that. This. Yes. Okay. We're gonna, There. 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 Okay. We're gonna go and do that. We're just trying... I'm trying to make this, like... trying to do, like, pretty pathing. There. There. And then... Good. Alright. And then... Something's happening out there. But it's none of my business. Okay. There. And it's gonna be like a thing here. Yeah. It's gonna look good. Once it's done, it's gonna be like super good. The only problem is that it's taking forever to get it done. There. And now let's build some tappers. Alright. And then where's my tapper? There we go. There you go. Now, that works out. I still don't know how you get oak resin because, like, I've tried everything. I'm like, I want the oak resin, but the oak resin has evaded me. Like, can I have the oak resin? The oak resin would be nice. Let me check on you guys. You guys have been a little quiet, and I want to make sure that you guys are still available. Like, you guys are still able to watch. And I don't know if you guys are still able to watch. Let me see. Check on Twitch. Yeah. Let me see. I think this is gonna be the last day. Only because I hear how crazy it is going outside. And I want to, like, overstay, if you know what I mean. Okay. Now, I do want to rustic plank floor. Wood floor, straw floor. Let's see. Let's see if this, like, is better. Do I need a... I think I might. Yeah. I might have to. Okay. Let's see. This was a temporary thing. And now we're replacing it with some wood. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's better. That's way better. There. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we gotta we're getting this. I'm trying to pull up the floors because I want to replace them with these. And so I want to replace them with like sturdy wood. Like this looks better. But I still want rustic, but I want to like in the way where rustic is like doesn't look bad. There. There you go. And it's gonna look so cute. This farm is gonna look so cute once it's like done and painted and refurbed. It's gonna look good. But yeah, for those of you who are like, oh, why aren't we script writing today? I just wanted to do a Stardew day. I just wanted to do a normal Stardew day. Just have a nice Stardew day and just call it, you know, not every day do I want to do a script write. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna do any. It's just, today I just was like in the more of a mood to just like do this because I have a lot of stuff going on. Let me see. There. This looks better. Way better. Mm-hmm. Ooh. I wanna... There we go. It bothers me that you can't put anything under the fence. But totally fine. That'll be okay. Okay. And then okay. Okay. And then let's do this. There. Good. It's looking a little better. It's looking a little better. I'm not gonna lie. It was looking a little... It's starting to look a little better. It looks ugly right now. But boy, is it gonna look pretty once I beautify it. There. 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 Ooh, yes, it's so nice. It's starting to look nice, which I'm happy about. Oh my gosh, it's so much better. There. And then we're gonna do this. No. That's not... There. 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 Okay. It's gonna look super cute. There. Okay. He'll look so cute. Yes, okay. This. There. Oh my gosh. It's annoying, but it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. Ah. Okay. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. Just watch. It's gonna look good. We're gonna get this going. Yes. Ha ha ha. Yes. Okay. And then, oh my gosh, it's 1:20 already. Jeez. Well. Yes. Okay. I think this is where I'm gonna have to stop it for Stardew. Today was a good day. I'll be back on Saturday to play Bendy. Alright, let me go into just chatting. Alright. So, that was good. I think we're gonna play Bendy next on Saturday, and then next week we should have it. That I couldn't upload a video on Monday because I tried editing the video and the video I didn't edit the video fast enough. So that will be saved for a later date, but don't worry, you will get it. Monday will be a sponsored video. So Monday will be a sponsored video. Just letting you guys know. Monday is going to be a sponsored video. And so Saturday, Bendy Lone Wolf. Monday, sponsored video, which you guys will be excited about. Because it's a new game that I saw and it's a paid sponsor. So I'm like, oh gosh, great. But yeah, so I will see you guys next time. And yeah, see you.